Imagine this. A young musician sits poised before a piano, the weight of expectation heavy on his shoulders. He's practiced this piece hundreds of times, each note etched into his memory. Yet as he begins to play, a tremor runs through his fingers. The smallest imperfection, a slightly hesitant note, a breath too long, sends a wave of self-reproach crashing over him. He stumbles, falters, and the once harmonious melody dissolves into a cacophony of frustration. This is the tightrope walk of perfectionism, where the pursuit of flawlessness becomes a self-imposed prison. The irony is that this pursuit, often born out of a desire to achieve greatness, can become the very thing that holds us back. The pressure to be perfect, to never falter, can be paralyzing. It can stifle creativity, breed procrastination, and ultimately lead to a sense of failure even in the face of objective success. This is because perfectionism isn't about healthy striving. It's about an unattainable ideal that sets us up for a perpetual cycle of self-criticism and dissatisfaction. Perfectionism, at its core, is a fear-driven mindset. It often stems from a belief that our worthiness is contingent upon flawlessness. This belief can be shaped by various factors, including early childhood experiences, societal pressures, and even genetics. For some, it might be the echo of a critical parent's voice demanding nothing short of excellence. For others, it might be the relentless messaging of a culture that glorifies achievement and equates mistakes with failure. Regardless of its origin, perfectionism thrives on comparison and self-doubt. It whispers that we're not good enough as we are, that we need to constantly prove ourselves to the world and to ourselves. This constant striving for an elusive ideal leaves little room for joy, self-compassion, or the simple pleasure of the process. It traps us in a cycle of self-critique, where every accomplishment is met with the nagging feeling that we could have done better. Living under the tyranny of perfectionism takes a toll. The constant pressure to perform, the fear of making mistakes, and the relentless self-criticism can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. It can manifest physically too, in the form of insomnia, digestive issues, and weakened immunity. Perfectionists often struggle with procrastination, not because they are lazy, but because the fear of not meeting their own impossibly high standards is paralyzing. This fear of failure can be so intense that it prevents them from even starting projects, leading to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. The tragedy is that this pursuit of perfection often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. By setting unattainable goals and then berating themselves for falling short, perfectionists create a cycle of self-sabotage that reinforces their belief that they are not good enough. Section 4. Embracing the imperfect steps towards self-liberation. Breaking free from the grip of perfectionism is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained beliefs. Here are a few steps to guide you on this path. Set realistic goals. Start by setting small, achievable goals instead of aiming for the impossible. Break down larger projects into manageable steps and celebrate each milestone along the way. Embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Shift your perspective on mistakes. Instead of viewing them as failures, see them as valuable feedback and opportunities for growth. Focus on progress, not perfection. Remember that progress, however small, is still progress. Celebrate your efforts and acknowledge how far you've come, rather than focusing solely on the end goal. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. Acknowledge your humanity and the fact that everyone makes mistakes. Section 5. Progress over perfection, a journey worth taking. The journey from perfectionism to self-acceptance is not about lowering your standards, but about redefining them. It's about shifting your focus from an unattainable ideal to the joy of the process, the satisfaction of effort, and the freedom that comes from embracing your perfectly imperfect self. Remember, you are not your accomplishments, and your worthiness is not contingent upon flawlessness. Embrace your imperfections, celebrate your progress, and allow yourself the freedom to create, to explore, and to live a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. This is the true path to excellence, not the pursuit of an elusive ideal, but the commitment to showing up as your authentic self day after day.